Hello and welcome to Metal Vice, a podcast where we talk about all things music.
Well, the things we care about.
That's right, which is mainly metal music and live music. I'm your host, Brian, joined with your other host,
Karen.
And again, a Christmas episode.
Yay.
Our Christmas sweaters, our Christmas tree up. This will be up the week of Christmas 2024.
Yeah, the day after Christmas.
Yeah, because it's a Wednesday this year. We post on Thursdays. Yeah, so this is the episode right around Christmas time.
Yep.
We try to do a Christmas episode every year. I guess we've done this a couple of years. Last year, what did we do? I can't remember.
Oh, maybe like the Nutcracker or something.
Maybe. I can't remember.
Yeah,
we try to do Christmassy themed stuff around this time of year. I really love Christmas. I don't know. I've always loved it as a kid. It's always a lot of fun. It's a good time of year for me. I enjoy it a lot. So incorporating music and live music around it is a lot of fun. As you said, we've been in the Nutcracker a lot. This year, though, we tried something a little different that we've both kind of been wanting to do for some time, apparently.
Yeah, I remember seeing ads for it as a kid, and I wanted to see it really bad.
Yeah, and that is the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. We saw this in Milwaukee. We took the train up there. We're going to do a vlog. Maybe it'll be up this year. Maybe it'll be up next year. Who knows when. We've got a lot of vlogs we need to do. The
2025 goal, though,
yes,
is for Brian to get them done.
Definitely. Or be better at it.
Yes.
The tour name this year around, because I think they change it up every year.
I don't think it's every year. I think they have different themes that they've done.
Okay.
According to Wikipedia, anyway.
Interesting. We'll talk about that because I was doing a little bit of research on this too.
Yeah.
But this year's theme or tour name was the Lost Christmas Eve Tour, which is also one of their albums that they basically played, not in full, but they played a lot of their stuff from that album. We'll talk about that here in a second. As we said, this was in Milwaukee at the Fiserv Forum. Been there a number of times. Cool little venue. I mean, it's just an arena. So.
Arena, yeah. No, it's not a venue. But
I like the area around that town. And we always stay down around that area anyway. And it's a really cool spot. Shit's not really open. At least it wasn't this time because it was Christmas. And it was kind of a ghost town, honestly.
Yeah, like all the bars and restaurants were closed.
Yeah, there were a few that had some shit going on, but whatever. Price for this real quick. We spent $109.99 on our tickets with $39.17 in fees. We had the level 100 on stage left, row, like the third row back from the front. No GA, everything was seated, even the floor was seated. All levels obviously were seated, but we had a pretty decent sight of the stage. We were really, really close to the stage.
Of the stage, yes, I would say we did.
Yeah, because there was other shit going on as well.
Yeah.
I guess how do we want to start? Do we want to start about how we learned about this as kids growing up? As you said, you saw ads for it on TV and always wanted to go to it.
Yeah, that's all I know. I just remember seeing ads for it, and I always wanted to go.
I kind of remember my dad coming home and playing one of their songs as a kid, and I got super excited for it because it was melding that sort of classical music with Christmas music as well as, because I think it was maybe like the Beethoven version of the song he played me or something.
Okay. Well, they do have like a Beethoven theme.
Like the fifth symphony, yeah. And he maybe played that for me. I can't remember, but I remember as a kid being introduced to it and really liking it. And then also around the early 2000s, like in the infancy of the internet, at least for us, there was sort of that video going around the internet of this Christmas house with all the Christmas lights. Oh,
right, yeah.
And it went viral back in the day, as much as viral, that term really wasn't a thing, but like everybody saw it, everybody watched it, and it was the Christmas lights blinking to one of the Trans-Siberian Orchestra songs. And like apparently, I think that caused a bunch of road jams around that block because people were just lining up to sit there and watch it.
Yeah, I've heard that.
But now you see that all the time. Everybody does sort of, like, you can easily do this now, I think. So you see it a lot more than you do, back then. It was a novel, really cool thing this one individual did, and maybe a lot of other people did it, but the one guy who sort of got famous for it.
Person. We don't know if it was a guy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But that's sort of my introduction to them as well, growing up. But I do remember those sort of events and like, oh, I want to go see this. And I've honestly never seen it before, and I've always wanted to, and same with you. You've never seen this either.
No, this was the first time. So, and we've tried, we've wanted to over the last couple of years even, but like the one here in Chicago was always after Christmas. And in our minds, we're like, if we see this, we want to see it before Christmas, not after.
Right, exactly. Last year, I think it was like the 28th.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? This is
the last couple of years, it was like that. Like,
was it? Okay.
The 26th, 28th, like right after Christmas. And it's like,
okay,
why can't this be before?
As much as I love Christmas, I am pretty stringent on my Christmas schedule.
It's Black Friday to Christmas Day.
And then after that, we leave our shit up until New Year's Day, and then we tear it all down. But in between New Year, like Christmas Day and New Year's Day, I'm kind of like, what the fuck's this doing up? I really am. I don't know why, but I'm very like sticky on my dates here. But yeah, this year, they are in Chicago this year.
Actually today,
as
tonight,
we record, the 23rd, right?
Yeah, but part of my thing was like, I don't want to work all day and then have to drive out to
Rosemont. Out in Rosemont, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, eh.
And we saw it last night in Milwaukee,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. We saw the matinee.
We did. There were 2 shows.
Yeah.
So that's really cool that they're doing that. Like, not really cool, but a unique thing that they're doing is 2 shows in one day.
In some cities.
In some cities. Also, 2 cities in one day.
Yeah.
So I think they have like 2 groups of musicians that go out there and perform this.
That's what it sounds like.
Maybe, because I remember when we went to Merch, they had that program that you pointed out that was signed. Not every square was signed. I wonder if that's sort of like
the indication of what show you're seeing.
Right, or like for somebody who's a collector, like, oh, now I need to go get those signatures of those other people as well.
That's true.
I don't know if they do shit like that or not, but
because they did have a full merch. Like if you're going to any other concert, like T-shirts with tour dates and like sweaters and everything that like a normal tour would have. I guess I wasn't thinking of it that way. It was more like, I'm just going to go see a show.
Yeah, I can see it being more of...
I think it's a tradition for a lot of families.
I think so. I was telling friends about going to this and like, oh, we used to go to that all the time as kids. I was like, I've never been to it, but I'd love to.
Yeah. I know.
I'm super excited to go check this out.
Yeah, last year, I remember my boss at the time was like, oh yeah, this is our 8th year going. I think you would really enjoy it because like the rock music kind of aspect to it, so...
but yeah, even with the shirts, I can see it being like an ornament. We did get an ornament from the merch as well as a vinyl, but I can see the shirts being like the 2024 shirt, like Anchor with the 2024 beer, right, where they would have the Christmas beer with the Christmas tree.
I was just thinking
every year would be different.
Get every tour that you've been on. I mean, we do that with other bands.
We do that. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, if you think of it as just like a normal band touring, I mean,
and like a family tradition, as you were saying, people go every year because it is sort of a holiday thing. It's very festive for sure.
Yeah.
I guess just dive into the set list and see where the conversation goes from there.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Okay. Why don't you read off what we had? And this is from Philly on the 22nd. So the same day we saw, but in Philadelphia. I would venture to say it's the exact same fucking set list, honestly.
Oh, probably.
So why don't you read off what we have, at least for this particular show?
Yeah. So they started with Welcome, Moonlight of Madness. And then the next part is like the story.
The Last Christmas Eve.
Yep, which was Faith Noel, The Last Christmas Eve, Wizards in Winter, Christmas Nights in Blue, Christmas Jam, Siberian Sleigh Ride, Queen of the Winter Night, What is Christmas, Wish List, Toy Shop Madness, For the Sake of Our Brother, Back to the Reason Part 2, What Child Is This, Christmas Canon Rock, and they ended with Faith Noel.
Yeah, I think they just replayed it again, or they played like the ending part of it. I don't really remember.
Oh, that's fine. Oh, because Faith Noel was the first song,
so
it may have been just like
it was like the
ending
bookend type thing.
Okay. And then the second part, I guess.
That's the second set. I'd call it.
The second set, yeah, was just like the hits of the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and it was King Rorik, Mozart and Memories, The Three Kings and I, First Snow, A Mad Russian's Christmas, Nutcracker with a drum solo.
Nut Rocker, not Nutcracker.
Oh, Nutcracker.
I did the same thing earlier when I was adding this to the playlist. I was like, Nutcracker. I was like, wait, I don't see it.
I think my mind just automatically went to
same,
Nutcracker.
yeah.
When the Crowds Are Gone, Requiem the 5th, This Christmas Day, and then they ended with Christmas Eve, Sarajevo, 12/24 or December 24th. I don't know what that's.
I think those are like time signatures or something around music. I assume Sarajevo is sort of like a style of classical music, would be my guess.
Maybe. So it was a Christmas carol played in Sarajevo?
Yeah.
Which is in Bosnia during wartime.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's where that came from. So it's probably played on Christmas Eve.
Maybe. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Okay. We got it. Research during podcast.
What we do, not even the best. What we do half-assedly.
Yep.
Yeah, so the Welcome I couldn't find that song on Spotify to put into the set list. Cover by Savatage, I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know if that was just sort of like the intro music or what. I took that as also sort of the welcome where they came out and talked to the crowd a little bit. So the radio station came out. They talked about donating money to the local food charities.
Yeah, that's how it started. Yeah.
Yeah. So
but that wasn't part of the song.
Well, that's what I was wondering, if that was just sort of like the backing track as they walked off stage or something, and then as the curtain dropped, that was sort of the backing. So all sort of the intro is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. I took it as like kind of like when you go to a play or something. It's like kind of like there's always like the opening song in my mind. At least there's normally an opening song.
Yeah.
And I mean the lyrics were like "Welcome to the show." Or something
was it?
like
I can't remember what the lyrics were. I wasn't paying super close attention to that at that point. I don't think.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, yeah. Moonlight and Madness, I kind of remember that song. It sounded very Trans-Siberian Orchestra-esque. And you start to notice exactly how many fucking people were in this band on stage at once.
Yeah. I can't even remember because there's like the string orchestra in the back, the drum kit in the back, and then you have a bassist, 2 or 3 guitars, depending on what the song is, a violinist, 2 keyboards, generally a vocalist, and then sometimes
your backup
vocals, which was like either 4 to 8 people.
Yeah, like 4 women, 4 men, or 3 women, 3 men, whatever the combination for that song called for.
I hope I didn't miss anybody, but I think that's what it was.
I think that was. I can't remember the exact number of guitars and bass, but I think you're right. 1 bassist for sure, 2 to 3 guitars. I can't remember exactly.
Depending on the song, it was 2 to 3 guitars.
Yeah, okay. The violinist for sure. The 2 keyboards was interesting. I didn't see the second keyboard way up top there. And then the basically the orchestra string section, which was at our performance was the Milwaukee chapter of Trans-Siberian Orchestra, which I'm wondering, is that like sort of a fan club? Is that like the Metallica fan club or something where they just sort of gather and play music together?
It's probably people who are in like the Milwaukee Orchestra who learned to play Trans-Siberian
and applied for it.
And like got chosen to do it because they are doing multiple cities at a time. So that's probably part of it, is like we're going to have the string orchestra come from
your city. That's what I was thinking too. Like I viewed it more as like sort of a fan club, sort of like we're all big fans of Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Let's learn how to play the music on strings. But there are probably like part of another orchestra as well, and this is sort of a subgroup of that group type thing.
Yeah,
that's sort of what I thought of as well. Basically the same thing you just said. But yeah, then we get into the Lost Christmas Eve, and I didn't realize that there were going to be 2 sections. We did look up ahead of time and saw that it was going to be like a 2-hour-long performance.
Yeah, and we only did that because we wanted to make sure that because when we did the train, so we took the Amtrak up there on Saturday. We ended up doing some Christmas, well, not really Christmas stuff. We kind of like walked around and saw some different things, went to some breweries, that sort of thing. And then our train home, since we did the matinee, we did like the 7:35 train home.
You're right.
And we only looked up the time because I wanted to make sure that we gave ourselves enough time to be able to like get our bags from the hotel.
Maybe get some
dinner because we weren't going to get home till like 9:30. Yep. So get some dinner and then get to the train before we missed it.
So yeah, we looked up and it was like 2 hours long, only them. So I was like, all right, there's probably an intermission, honestly. So when they started playing the Lost Christmas Eve and that Faith Newell, again, I didn't really think anything of it. It was just sort of a normal Christmas song.
Do you say Newell or Noel?
Noel. I think you said it better. Noel.
Yeah, I always say Noel.
I think it's Noel. I say Newell, but yeah, it's Noel, I think. And then they get into the Lost Christmas Eve and then Wizards in Winter. I think that's when the narrator first comes out, is in between the Lost Christmas Eve and Wizards in Winter. I can't remember exactly.
I think you might be right. Yeah.
But I guess at this point, were you shocked or were you expecting so much singing with this, with what you anticipated going into it?
Like with the vocals?
Yeah, with vocals. Like if we had asked you before going to this, like, what do you expect? Would you have said, I expect a lot of singing, or would you have expected a lot of instrumental sort of performances?
Probably just instrumental, because I think I've only heard that one song.
Same. 100%. I would have only expected instrumental, except for last year around Christmas, I started listening to a lot more Trans-Siberian. I just put the first song on Spotify and hit shuffle and listen to whatever came up. And there was a lot of that narrator coming out and talking.
Oh, so it's like the show.
Yeah, it is on some of the albums. And I've been holding that back now for over a year.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I kind of want to see what she thinks when we actually go to the show. Yeah.
I was shocked with that it is kind of like a play narration type thing with the music.
Yeah.
And that was interesting to me. I wasn't prepared for that. No, I wasn't prepared for the story aspect of it.
I wasn't either.
But you just said that you listened to it and it was a story.
Yeah, I was expected the narration, but not necessarily it was a cohesive story all the way through.
Okay.
I thought it was just more of like setting up this song that we're going to sing. I
think
realize
that's part of it is just setting up this song, but you're supposed to have the story with it.
I think so, especially this album. I think the Lost Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
I listened to it today during work. It's a story from start to finish. I haven't listened to their other albums to see if it's another story as well.
Yeah.
Or not, but this one definitely is a story.
Can we talk about the story?
Yeah, I guess now's a good time to talk about it.
So spoilers if you want to go see this and don't want to hear about the story, but basically it starts with a young girl in a Russian-style coat. I don't understand why they had to say that.
They said it so much.
Yes.
I thought the same thing. Like, why the fuck is this important? Why does it need to be a Russian-style coat?
Right.
Like, what the fuck does this play into? The only thing I can think of, the Nutcracker. Nutcracker is written by Tchaikovsky, a Russian. So therefore, you got to keep that Russian line. They do have the Mad Russians Winter song, I think, right? That's one of the songs.
Yeah. But that's like during their greatest hits part, not during the storyline.
But I wonder if this is supposed to be a character that passes through all of the albums.
Maybe.
I don't know if there's lore to this as well. Like, every album plays into the grander scheme lore of the story. I don't know that.
Almost every time she was mentioned in the story, he mentioned the little girl in the Russian-style coat.
Which is this red coat that flips over. I didn't know that was Russian style. I viewed it as she was you only saw the girl from the back.
Yeah.
And I viewed it as Little Red Riding Hood. That's how I saw the coat.
I didn't see that.
And I was like, that's not Russian. That's German, isn't it? Like,
I just saw it as like a girl with a coat in wintertime. So you're going to have and a nicer coat. Because we're at an orchestra, that sort of thing. So it's like a nicer looking, it's not like a puffy coat.
And the first time you see her, she's walking through this empty, barren mansion. And they were talking about that and how she's like looking for her family. She can't find her family. And in my head, again, now I'm starting to put the pieces together. I'm like, holy fuck, this is Anastasia. This is going to be fucking awesome. Where's Rasputin coming? Like the Lost Christmas. I was like, this is going to be about the Bolsheviks rising up. Maybe. Like, this is going to be fucking awesome. Let's go. I was so excited for that. Even going in and seeing the title of the tour being The Lost Christmas, again, I was like, motherfucker stole Santa. This is a whole show about Santa going missing and being kidnapped.
That would be better than the story we got.
Yes.
So.
Continue the story.
Anyways. I don't know. She ends up going into a bar, which is she's a little girl. Why is she going into a bar that's playing blues music?
Oh, I wanted to ask you about this. Okay. Yeah, because she does wander into a bar. I don't remember how the fuck we got there.
Yeah,
we went straight from this mansion to this bar.
Yeah.
Or this club, this blues club.
Yeah.
And that was for the song Christmas Nights in Blue. Did the narrator say a blues bar, or did he just say and everybody was blue, or did he say the song of A Christmas Night in Blue?
They were playing blues music.
They weren't, I don't think. The music to me came off more jazzy. And this is where I started to really fucking fall through, and I started to get really irritated with this. And it's nuanced. It's definitely nuanced in my mind.
No, so I'm pretty sure that he said everybody was blue, and then they started playing the blue. I thought maybe it was jazz music.
It felt more jazzy to me, and I was like, we hate genreizing music so much, even in metal. That's our main style of music.
We just say it to kind of give a connotation of what it could sound like if you know this type of metal.
I do know I like jazz, and I do know I like blues. Yeah. I know it when I hear it, but I can't really tell you what the difference of those are. So I was looking into this more today as well, and blues music is typically a single person playing one instrument, typically a guitar, and it's sort of the context of the song that makes it, makes it more bluesy is more lyrical based and more structured around the lyrics and sort of the atmosphere the lyrics bring, along with the single instrument. Jazz music is more multiple instruments all coming together, and it really leans on improvisation between the instruments going in. All right, you're on the bass, go have a little fun. I'm on the horns, let's go play the horns a little bit. So that's one thing. That's the difference. The other thing during the song is they called out that they're in New York City. And I was like, fuck New York City. I hate this city. And when you think of blues music, I don't know anybody who thinks of New York City for blues. I think of Chicago. I think of like the Deep South, like Memphis.
See, I didn't know they were in New York. I missed that part because I thought that they were in the South the whole
No,
time.
they
The
were
whole
in-
time of the story, I thought they were in the
They
South.
were in New York City.
Oh, okay.
And I looked up, like Googled, I just like, what are blues cities? Just to confirm my thoughts.
Memphis. That's what comes to mind.
Memphis, Nashville,
Chicago.
Chicago.
Yeah.
There's where the Delta Blues came from. I can't remember the name. It starts with the C, but that's down in Mississippi. But all of that sort of region is sort of where I think of blues. I then said, all right, the song felt more jazzy to me. Let's let's do the same thing for jazz. New Orleans, for sure, where it was born. And then New York City is sort of like the mecca of jazz. And I'm like, all right, so it was jazz music. It felt more jazzy.
So is it maybe because, going along with the story, the girl ends up seeing this guy at the bar and he's all like depressed and like angry that it's Christmas. And he's like mean to people as he walks out of the bar because it's Christmas. So is it more a song? I don't remember the lyrics, but is it more a song about him being blue as in like sad and not like blues music?
So that's that's where my memory's now really fading with me, because I listened to it a couple times because I thought the same thing. I was like, maybe it's not blues. Maybe it's just the emotion of like, I am blue during Christmas. But I swear to God, they said it was a blues bar.
I thought they did too.
And that is when they said blues bar, and then they said in New York. I was like, are you fucking shitting me? You are not even 90 miles from one of the greatest blues cities in the world, and you're going to fucking call out this shithole of a city, New York? Fuck you, assholes. I was getting really pissed off and a little angry at that point. And then also, as you talked about, the businessman, they kept calling him the businessman.
Yeah.
Which then is like, all right, you're New York. When I think of New York, I do think of the businessman. But they're like describing him, as you said, he's angry at people. He hates that it's Christmas. And all right, they started to turn me around a little bit. Okay, cool. This is going to be the Grinch character. But the Grinch actually made an appearance. Do you remember that?
No.
The Grinch was on TV shitting on Christmas. I don't know if he was like the TV host or he was...
Oh, during the song?
Yeah, or during like the intro or at one of the talking points. But he's either like the narrate, like the news anchor or the mayor of New York or something. I don't know. But it was like the Grinch was on TV shitting on Christmas. And this businessman was like, yeah, fuck Christmas.
Oh, right. That's when he gets up and like walks out and he's mean to everybody. Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? You just set this guy up to be the Grinch and you introduced the Grinch into your universe. Like, come on, this was the Grinch character. What the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
This is like the fourth fucking song in the night. And I'm like, I'm so lost. I'm done with this story. I'm done with it. I was enjoying the music. I really was. But the story aspect, I was like, I'm fucking gone. I'm checking out. I'm done with this.
It's the next part that gets me I'm like, I'm done with the story.
Yeah,
so
let's talk about it.
So walking down the street, all of a sudden the girl in the Russian coat sees the man looking at a toy store.
She like was in the bar with them. And now just walking down this, like she followed him out of the bar. Like, this guy seems like he needs help.
They didn't say that she followed him out of the bar. It was just like she happened to see him.
I thought she followed him.
I don't think they said that. I think it was just like...
Maybe I read into that too much.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was more of like, I don't know.
He was looking in a toy store window, and she asked him, do you have any children? And he replies, no, knowing that he's lying. And then the next part, he goes into how the narrator goes into how the businessman was married and his wife deeply in love, and his wife died during childbirth, and the baby this is so ridiculous. The baby lost oxygen long enough that the doctor told him, he's not gonna be able to walk, he's not gonna be able to hold a job, he's not gonna be able to like basically function in society.
The job aspect, I was like, what the fuck is this?
I'm like, really no doctor is gonna tell somebody like your child's never gonna be able to get a job. Like, and then all he turns it over to some like home. He signs over rights to an orphanage for the kid. Yeah. So like instead of placing the child for adoption, he's just like, put it in an orphanage. I don't want to see it.
This feels very very, very old school sort of
kind
a
of
story. Like
yeah.
this was what happened in the 40s, the 30s,
Yeah.
maybe even the 50s. I don't know, but like even the 20s, right?
Okay.
Even with the jazz aspect, it
we're
feels...
in 2024 now,
Yes.
so redo your story where it's more believable.
But then if it is 2020, that kind of fits in with the Bolsheviks, right? Of my like, that's why the Russian girl fits in.
Maybe. But anyways.
I don't know.
So that whole thing happens. Well, then him getting asked if he has a child made him think of his child. And then he all of a sudden, like, it's now 17 years later or something. And he's like contacting the hospital to see where his child is. And they're like, oh, your child is alive. And then he goes to a NICU in a hospital and his child's rocking a baby, which I think is a drug baby, how it's explained, because it's like trembling, a premature trembling baby that doesn't have a family.
Yeah.
And that to me is like a drug baby.
It was born into the orphanage.
The orphanage, yeah. And
because as you said, the father did call and said like, hey, is my son still alive? I'd like to meet my son. She's like, yes, he is, but he no longer lives here. He's often seen at this hospital. So then the father, the businessman, just goes to the hospital hoping to possibly meet his son.
It just walks into the NICU.
And the son is sitting there rocking a kid. And it's like, I know he's my son because he looks just like me. But when I was younger.
Okay. And the baby that he's rocking.
Was the
drug baby. Yes. So it says in the narration that he's rocking the baby while trembling until the trembling stops. And then in the song after, I don't remember what, like Back to a Reason or What Child Is This or something, like one of those songs in there, like basically is saying that we are, or no, the narrator says this.
Yes.
We are held twice. Once when we're born and once when we die.
Yes.
And in my mind, I'm like, did the baby just die?
I didn't take it as the baby died. I took it as the son or the father died.
Oh, no, I took it that the baby died.
That makes
in that
more
moment.
sense as you're talking about it. Like, I missed the whole trembling until he stopped trembling thing. I took that more as like the kid is sitting there rocking the baby until the baby falls asleep. Like he comes here and does that because he's like, I was abandoned as a kid. Yeah. I want to reciprocate love because I was never shown love. That's
what I thought until the narrator said, you're held twice, once when you're born and once when you die.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, the businessman's dying. Like but that the baby dying makes more sense. Yeah.
And then the story moved.
But now that you think about it, that's metal as fuck. Dead babies?
Dead babies.
Come on. Not the rocking it till it dies thing, unless you're like shaking it. But yeah, that's metal as fuck right there.
True.
On Christmas, no less.
Christmas Eve.
Yeah, no, Santa's not coming for you. You lost your Christmas. Oh, no, that's not it. I'm trying to figure out where the lost Christmas comes in. Who lost the Christmas? Who lost the Christmas? Was it the son, the father?
Or the baby?
Or the baby?
Well, the baby definitely is not living till Christmas with this story.
No, so maybe it is the baby dying. I don't know. It's fucking weird. I don't understand. Like,
the next part doesn't make sense either because the son turns around, sees his father, and just all this acceptance is there. And then the dad just goes and picks up a baby and starts rocking it with them.
And they sit next to each other rocking two different babies. See, that's the thing, too. I don't think the baby died because
he's still rocking the baby?
Then he's still, like, you're not going to rock a dead baby. You're going to go grab another one and rock that one till it dies. Like, are they just going through this NICU one baby at a time? Like, just, we got to get...
I don't know.
We've got 40 babies to get through before Christmas is done. Then our shift's over.
Like, in my mind, though, I'm like, you abandoned your son 17 years ago, and now all of a sudden he looks at you and knows he's you're his father, and he's like, "Yep, I accept you. Thanks for abandoning me."
Yep, grab a baby.
Like,
check on in. Let's. If you grab a baby and start rocking, then we're okay.
It was just so dumb.
And then I guess the next part was like the whole the son took him over to like his photos or something.
Yeah.
Which I think were in the NICU. It seemed like
he didn't like leave the NICU. So
or he went to his office in the NICU. Somehow
he's carrying around these photos.
I guess I don't know, but he goes through the photos and he's got a photo of a woman, was it a young woman? I can't remember.
Like a young girl. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was like a photo of this kid's mom.
Yeah.
Who the guy recognized as his wife.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's his
as
mom.
A child. I thought it was his wife as he recognized the photo because it was his wife as a child.
Right. Yes, that's what it was. It was a photo of a young girl who he recognized as his wife, which was also the young girl he was following and talking to. It's like, how all of a sudden do you realize, oh shit, this is my wife?
So now it's like Ghosts of Girlfriends Past.
Or just Ghosts of Christmas Past.
Ghosts of Christmas Past. Yeah, whatever you want to say. And it's like, is it called Ghosts of Christmas Past or Ghost of Chris?
They are the
Girlfriends?
ghost of Christmas Past. It's Ebenezer Scrooge
Oh,
who
okay.
sees them.
So
It's a Christmas Carol,
kind of
I
like
think it
the
is.
Ghost of Girlfriends
Charles
Past, where
Dickens.
like all his girlfriends come back to him. But anyways,
It's
that's
the same story, just
yeah.
reversed.
So I thought
Not
the
reversed,
girlfriends
but-
won, but whatever. And it's like, oh, so my wife came back to kind of remind me that I have a son and I need to go find him.
Yeah, so clearly the girl was the ghost of Christmas Past.
Yeah.
I'm assuming because we're talking about Christmas, and clearly
Yeah.
it was a ghost at this point.
Yes.
But how the fuck did he not recognize her as his wife at that point in time?
Right, but the picture did it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't fucking...
And was his wife Russian?
That's the only thing I can think of. But...
We're missing a whole bunch to this story that doesn't make sense.
And even in the photo, when he looks at the photo, it's like a young girl wearing a Russian-style coat. Again, the
Yeah.
Russian-style coat.
Yeah.
And I was like, what in the fuck is going... This story was fucking ridiculous. So stupid. So many like little things that I hated so much about it. Not to least to mention the blues bar in New York, which was actually jazz. Like, but again, maybe they didn't say blues. Maybe they just said like a blues bar. Like
people are
blues
being
music.
blue.
Yeah, I don't. And nobody was being blue.
No.
Only the one
Everybody was
motherfucker.
Everybody was dancing and singing and
And having a great time.
nobody was drinking, but they were having a great time, and the bar owner didn't care that they weren't drinking.
You did say that. I do remember
Yeah.
that. So again, maybe this was set sort of during Prohibition, in that time frame
Maybe
of like the 20s.
like the 20s.
Which again,
But they didn't say that. They didn't say like in 1924.
but maybe
or whatever.
again that could go into the overarching lore of this
Maybe.
universe that is the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Like
Every
Trans-Siberian.
time you say the universe, I think of like the multiverse.
Oh yeah, it's like the MCU, but it's like the
Yes.
TSOU.
TSO.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra universe. But also like even the name Trans-Siberian Orchestra does, as soon as I hear
Yeah.
Trans-Siberian, because of the Siberian tundra and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
Like I think
In
of
Russia. Yeah. No, me too.
So
Yeah.
I get that, but
I thought that I thought maybe it was from Russia, but it's from Florida.
are they from Florida?
Yeah. They were
'Cause
started in Florida.
They all
Tampa,
looked
Florida.
European to me. All the singers, I thought were like
so I'm not-
European as fuck.
I'm not saying like that they didn't outsource to other countries to find better vocalists and better guitar players and stuff like that, but it started in Tampa, Florida.
I didn't get that vibe from the vocals, but the guitar players and the violinist definitely felt very European to
Yes.
me.
I would agree.
But no accent, no nothing. They just felt very, very
They didn't talk,
European.
Only
the
one
lead,
guitarist.
The lead person did, which I think was one of the founders of Trans-Siberian Orchestra, which was 30 years old this year, so 1994, which is, like, again, right when we were kids and starting to see this
Yeah.
and being introduced to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Very interesting for sure.
Yeah. Anyways, the story's over.
That's
Either the
story.
dad died, the baby died, or the kid died,
all
or
died.
somebody died.
All of them died, yeah. Just doctors show up on Christmas
anyways.
Day and there's a NICU full of dead babies and 2 adults that are dead. Like murder suicide out the fucking ass right here. I don't know what
Just
the fuck
jump
happened.
out the window of the hospital.
I think there was one scene where I was like, did somebody fucking jump from? I can't remember.
But during that whole part, they did do a little narration, and then they would play a song, and then narration, then play a song, and back and forth until it was over. And with the narration, it just took me out of the music completely because I was trying to think of what we were just told with the narration and then listening to the vocals or trying to like listen to the
piece it
music
in.
to piece it all together. I'm like, this isn't making sense. And the vocalist for the businessman was supposed to be angry. Do you remember like
Yep.
he would like sit there and like be all angry and like all that stuff? He's not the best vocalist for that. If he's supposed to be angry, he's not the best because he doesn't sing angry. He tried to do a growl. Did you remember that at the end of Christmas Eve?
No, I don't.
Oh my gosh, yes. And
I
I was
don't-
like, I just smiled. I'm like,
I mean,
that
it's-
was
It's
lost.
definitely not metal like the anger. And
No,
the,
it's not.
The
It's
emotion
not.
within metal and the growl for sure. I got angry vibes for sure. In terms
Okay.
of like
I got fake angry vibes.
I got
Like
that,
he's
yeah.
trying. But like,
that's what I got.
there's
Like, angry,
better vocalists out there that aren't even angry people and they can do better.
I got it from like a Hallmark movie style anger.
Ooh, good
That's what it
point.
was. Like it was that sort of anger.
These are the performers who didn't make it, so now they're in Trans-Siberian.
See, I don't.
No, I think they're great.
He was a
performers.
great fucking singer.
No, everybody's great. That was totally a joke.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole joke about the Hallmark movies is like they're the actors who don't make it.
I
so
see what you're saying.
They're on Hallmark movies.
I don't watch those movies. I fucking hate them.
They're all the same, so it doesn't really matter.
They are.
But anyways,
I can just go back to that Ted Lasso of like, they really suck, but they're really good. But they suck, but they're also
Yes.
kind of really fucking good.
So that was totally a joke about the performers. They all are very, very talented.
So I had a different vibe with the narration. I really liked the narration aspect.
Okay.
Especially his voice, like the deep sort
Oh
of
no, he had a
narrative
good
voice.
for it. I'm just saying it didn't. It took me out of the music.
But again, I'm not a lyrical person also.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really listening to lyrics anyway when they were singing. I was listening to the music behind it. So having the narrator tell me like, all right, here's what you can expect. And then watching sort of the production value.
The production, yeah.
And a little bit of the lyrics as they would hop in every now and then as I would focus more on that and then bounce all over the place. Maybe I have ADHD. I don't know. As I'm talking now, I'm bouncing all over. Whatever, I'm doing it right now.
Maybe that's why we go on so many tangents.
Maybe. In any case, what was I saying? So having the narration, was like, okay, that's going to help me understand the story better and follow the story more. My problem was the story was fucking shitty as fuck that I was just like, no, fuck, this is stupid.
Well, they lost you in like the third song. Like at least I think I went to like the fourth or fifth song before I'm like, no, this is stupid.
Yeah, but at the same time, after that, once you start to like lose the thread, then you just start picking, at least me, when I start to lose the thread, I was like, all right, how the fuck can I tear this apart even more? And I'm just sitting there and I'm doing that. And I'm smiling to myself when I'd find a new thing. And I think there were a couple times I heard you laugh out loud.
I was because I'm like, that's so stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not supposed to be funny at all, but like, I'm just like, no, that was stupid. Or like there'd be like a little image on the back screen or like whatever. And I'm like, that's just so stupid.
And I honestly, I feel kind of bad for feeling this way about this show because every single person around us, everybody we interacted with there, everybody I looked at while watching the performance was just so extremely happy to see this. I saw somebody fucking throw the horns up.
Oh, really?
During one of the songs.
I didn't see that.
People were at the end standing and cheering. Like everybody was so fucking happy. A woman in front of us. There were parts where like the musicians would come down and walk down the aisles, and she stuck her hand out, and the guy slapped her hand,
and she's so excited. Yeah,
like people fucking love this shit. And as you said, it's a tradition. You go here, like this is not Christmas if we don't do this.
Yeah,
it's not Christmas if I don't watch It's a Wonderful Life. Like
I gotta watch it. I live it. Sorry, that's a Big Bang Theory thing.
But like, I get where they're coming from. I understand their joy and happiness, and it was fucking phenomenal to see.
No, I agree. Yeah,
but I hated it.
Yeah, I know.
I did not fucking
so
like it.
After the story was over, I think one of the founders came out and like basically introduced the vocalists and even asked like who's our first timers or whatever, and like and then who's our repeat offenders or whatever.
I did like that little bit. Who's the repeat offender?
Yeah.
And I was like, this doesn't like before we get I guess that
far.
Sorry.
I
like it's somewhere in this part during the story. And again, Christmas music is very Christian, right? There's very Christian undertones to a lot of Christmas music.
Yeah.
Outside of the Santa based buy shit Christmas songs, right? All the other ones are about baby Jesus and whatnot. Because it's his birthday. Happy birthday, Jesus.
Happy birthday. Hope you had a good one because this is going to be post your birthday.
Yeah. Hope you didn't ask for nails because you're getting 3 of them.
Maybe he wanted 4.
Well, he got 3. Anyway, somewhere during the story, it felt very... We've seen The Righteous Gemstones. We watched that. We've enjoyed it. We need to see the last season.
Yeah, we haven't seen the last
Or the next season that we haven't seen. But at some point during the story, I was like, is this what a mega church is like? Is this what it feels like to go to a mega church?
I thought the same thing because like they do like the Christmas productions and stuff. And I thought the same thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is what it's like to sit in the auditorium and watch them put on their Christmas production.
Like 1,000-seat venues that these people go to every Sunday.
Yes.
And they all have like a rock band that they open to and shit.
Yes.
And a part of me is like, I get it. I would go to fucking church if I can go see a free fucking concert.
If this is what they were doing?
like, I'll go check that out. I might bounce like halfway through the set and like, all right, I don't need to see the closing. I know what it is. I know what the closer is. They always close with the same song. I don't know what song I'd pick right now. Rain and Blood, I guess that'd be their closer. I don't know.
Sure.
Maybe
they don't understand it, so they're like,
well, it's the rapture coming, so it's like Rain and Blood. Like,
yeah.
Anywho, there was a point where I was like, is this fucking mega church that we're at somehow? And again, I get it now. Now I understand. If it is, I understand what the appeal of it is. This is kind of fun.
Because you're not going to church and sitting in the pew going, like, listening to a preacher. It's like
chastise me about certain fucking bullshit.
Yeah,
fucking
it's like this huge production,
fantasy story, like fairy tale bullshit. Let's go have some fun.
Yeah,
it's a free show every Sunday. You
the
don't have
lore. You were talking about the lore or whatever. So like mega churches is just the lore of the Bible.
Jeebus, yeah, like, exactly.
Jeebus.
I don't know. That's what I call him every now and then.
Jeebus.
Jesus. Muchas gracias, señor. But yeah, no, during the story, I felt that way. And I was like, all right, so does this story have like a very Christian undertone message to it? And I was struggling to fucking figure it out. Like, don't abandon your kids. Don't have unsafe.
No,
like
the whole thing is to give birth to your child.
Give birth. Don't abort it. Give birth.
It doesn't matter if maybe she had a wonderful pregnancy and it happened at the end, and that is so sad if it is, but give birth.
Yeah, they didn't talk about that. Like, there's a 90% chance she'll die. Do you want to go through with it or abort? No, we're giving birth.
Yep.
Like, no.
And then just abandon your child.
Yeah, like, the story was fucking bullshit, and I was struggling to follow it and stick with it. I was getting pissed. And then it was just sort of watch the performance and amuse myself in other ways. And again, I don't necessarily know if it was a super heavy Christian undertone to it. I think, but again, that's Christmas. That's Christmas music for sure.
Yeah.
Like that is the standard Christmas music. And I fucking love Christmas music. I'm an atheist. I don't give a shit. Satan's Power. Like that song's my favorite. I just learned that song last year and I forgot about it until this year. And it's like,
what song is that?
Jesus came to save us from Satan's power.
It's the best line in any Christmas song.
But like all of it, like the three wise men, the little drummer boy, like all of this shit is super fucking outside of our true Lord and Savior, Santa Claus, outside of his songs. This is all religious.
But Frosty is the real hero.
Frosty's a
Christmas.
stupid bitch. Like he can't go anywhere where it's warm. He can't go to a beach. Frosty sucks.
Olaf can go to the beach. Why can't Frosty go to the beach?
Because Frosty's a little fucking bitch. Olaf is shit. Olaf is fucking awesome. I like Olaf. Olaf's cool. But he's got 2 lobs, not 3, right? Or does he have 3 lobs?
No, he only has 2.
Yeah, see, he's a better Frosty. Olaf is fucking awesome. Plus, he's Elder Cunningham. Or is he Elder... No, he's Elder Cunningham.
Elder Cunningham,
yeah. So Frosty's fucking awesome.
Anyways, are we done with the story?
We're fucking all over the place. Yeah, then we get into the greatest hits. And sort of like, as you were saying, before I rudely interrupted you, the like lead guy...
Oh, I didn't know you were done. I didn't ask, like, is there anything else you want to talk about?
It's all good, whatever. As you're saying, as the lead guy comes out and sort of like introduces some of the members, not all of them, because we end up doing it later as well. I think he does the singers this time. Anywho.
Yeah, I think it's the vocalist first and then...
Yeah.
Moves on.
Anywho, at this point, I was like, this is the intermission. I had to fucking pee so bad. So I was like, fuck, let's go. Let's finish this up. Let's cut to intermission, drop the curtain. I thought the curtain was going to drop after the story, and then we were all going to leave, and maybe we come back and do like another introduction. But no, it's just introduction, sort of midway point, and then straight into more music, which was the greatest hits.
Yes. This is more, gosh, one of the songs, I don't even know what song it is. Is it one of the first ones or something? But it's like the song, I don't even know what the song is, but it's like the song that you hear of Trans-Siberian
Probably
Orchestra.
Mozart and Madness, honestly. That's probably the main one.
Mozart and Memories.
Oh, Mozart and Memories. Yeah, let's look real quickly. Yeah, I'm not sure what song it was, but there's the main thing that you always hear.
Yeah, like what you're talking about, like the house that was all set to like the Trans-Siberian
Yep.
Orchestra and everything like that. And during that, I was like, okay, yeah, I can get back into this now. Like the story's over, because he does say like, and that's the end of our story. So we knew that was over. So then it went into that, but then like I think the very next song or one of the songs right after was like the tall blonde vocalist who was singing. They did introduce everybody, but I can't remember what
The
her name
female
was.
vocalist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or yeah.
But she comes out and sings like something about her great grandfather.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Was that
one.
her singing that?
I think so. Yeah.
But like, and saving the kings.
Was
like,
that the Three Kings and I?
So I think yes, I think that's what the song was, and it's like, but like if you listen, I know you don't listen to the vocal or the lyrics, but it was like my 10,000 great grandfather like saved these kings, and then like I think it's the three kings that went to visit baby Jesus, and I'm like. But it kept coming back to the grandfather thing. Like the lyrics literally keep coming back to the grandfather.
So I think that's the whole, like in the Bible, there's that begot, so-and-so begot so-and-so, and so-and-so begot so-and-so.
Okay.
Like the intention of that is so that you can trace your lineage back to Moses and Adam and Eve all the way back. So the whole point is like you can trace your lineage. So I think that's what that's supposed to reference.
People do realize if you believe the Bible, there was two people, so we're all incest.
Yes, but...
That's stupid.
Don't start to poke holes.
And there was only two sons. So which son had sex with their mother to keep the line going?
Don't poke holes into something that has so many holes already in it. But I think,
or were they gay and they had a child together? Did they adopt?
What I'm trying to say is I think that's where that whole part comes from. I think that's what they're probably trying to reference.
Well, that's stupid.
And whoever that person in that story is like, you can now trace the singers, the character in the singing, lineage back to that particular character in the Bible, would be my guess. So again, I do think there's sort of...
The Bible undertone?
An undertone here of that. But also, it's Christmas music outside of our Lord and Savior Santa. Like, that's sort of the music you can expect to hear here, right?
Yeah, that song really got to me, though. I was like, this is stupid. Like, your grandfather did not save three kings to go visit Jesus.
Yeah, we got anyway, we did get the Nutcracker song with the drum solo. The drum solo was pretty...
Rocker.
Not rocker.
But that was when the Nutcrackers came up, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes. Yeah.
So before that, so it must have been during a Mad Russians Christmas, I saw them put up the chords.
Oh, really?
Or like the, you know, like how they raise them or whatever. And like I saw them put those up and I was like, I don't think you're supposed to see it because it's kind of like a dark background. But I was like, something's going to happen. I know something's going to happen because they put chords up. I was like, those weren't there before.
There was another time in the night where they did that. The first time they did the crane arm things.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we didn't talk about that.
We haven't talked about the production yet. We will get to that. Or maybe we do it now. I don't know.
Yeah, let's just do it now. We're all over the place anyway.
We are. But the first time I noticed it was at the front of the stage. Well, actually, during the story, whenever the angry dude, the businessman, comes out, there was one part where he steps all the way to the front of the stage and steps on the stage, and it sort of bends under his weight.
Okay.
And I kind of started like, I smiled. I was like, this motherfucker better be careful. He's going to take a tumble off of this bitch and fall into the crowd. Like, that won't be good.
Yeah.
Or will it? But I was like, how the fuck is this stage that unstable? Later in the performance, I don't know where, but I think it was in the story.
There's twice that it happens.
Yeah, once in the second set, once in the first set, I think. But like two crew come out really quickly and throw these like bars up in front of the stage.
Yeah.
And that happened out of the corner of my eye, and I like look like, what the fuck is going on
like
here?
My first thought was, where the fuck did you come from?
No, my thought was some of those backup singers are going to come out here and do like gymnastics. These are like pummel horses. They're going to do gymnastics on. Okay. That's what I thought was going to happen.
They're going to pole dance?
No, not pole dance, pummel horse.
I know what you're talking about, but you said that they put two poles up, so I was
with like little, I got you, but like a little padding on it. Like it would look more like a small pummel horse. Okay. Anywho, it's Christmas. We're not going to pole dance. Santa's ho-ho-hos aren't out here having fun. No, it's not that.
Where were we that it said? Oh, nice. The Iron Horse Hotel had Iron Ho-Ho.
Ho-ho. You need 3 hoes, not 2, to make it Santa Claus's place.
Iron Horse Hotel only has 2 hoes.
That's true. Fuck.
We're all over the fucking... Nobody's listening. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Hi, Aunt Joe. I'm glad you're enjoying this.
Not the pole dancers, the pummel horses. But they put those up, and the 2 guitarists are a guitar and violin. I think the guitar violin this time came over and stood next to it, and then they lashed them in. I was like, oh, shit, all right, this is going to rise straight up. it kind of went up, but then out over the crowd.
That's when I thought of the mega church production.
Oh, for real?
Yes. Because I always think of like an angel flying off like at a mega church thing.
I did not think of that. My thought went straight to Slipknot.
Oh.
And I was like,
wait, is the drum kit going to start spinning?
Yeah. I was like, how fucking badass would it be if Slipknot's 2 side kits, drum kits, went out over the middle of the crowd in the middle of the performance? Like, you can have the same setup where they're in the back right now, but then all of a sudden they start going straight out and then straight up over the crowd, like over the pit, and then maybe shoot fire out under toward the people, like we're with the broilers on.
Oh, I was like roasting marshmallows?
Yeah, like I was like, that would be fucking sick. That would be insane. Like, that's where my head went to. I was like, Slipknot could do
honestly, like, because it kind of goes up like this and then it goes out like this.
Yep.
So like the drums could be out here and they would be far enough above people that like even if you put flames or something on there, it's not. And you
bring them over to the seats where people can like get a better view. Like, it'd be fucking fun to see Sean up there, clown up there, like beating away.
That's one of my biggest complaints about the drums is, I mean, sometimes they'll have a camera on it and you can see or whatever.
They're all the way in the back.
They're in the back and you can't see what's happening. Like when we were on Headbanger's Boat the first year, 2023, like we stood behind the kit and it sounded horrible because the wind was crazy that night.
Yeah, because this year I stood back there and was like, it actually sounds pretty fucking badass.
Yeah, but like the wind was just
last year the
crazy.
Wind was just insane.
Yeah. But it was awesome to see Art play, like to actually see what's going on with the drum kit.
To see him play and to see the crowd from his perspective.
Yes, yeah.
Like that's a view you don't typically get to see a show from.
But I wasn't talking about like the artist perspective. I was just saying like to be able to see the drum kit, the drummer play.
Exactly.
Because otherwise it's like they're just sitting back there in the back and you can't really see. I think that's what Metallica is trying to do as well with like Lars moving around the stage so that people can see what's going on.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely, anyways, Slipknot's not going to do that probably, but
it'd be awesome if they did. But that's where my mind went to during that. So that's part of the stage performance. We didn't really talk about the stage. In the center of the stage, there were sort of steps that went up toward the drum kit, which was right in the middle of the steps. There were sort of step outs all the way on stage left and stage right where people would go up and stand.
Like that's generally where like the bassist stood, the violinist.
The guitars would switch back and forth.
Yeah.
Singers would come up every now and then sing over, but you get like super fucking close to the people in the stands sitting. Typically there's the pit down there, right? So sometimes people will have like the middle of the stage, center stage goes straight out toward the front of the house that they can walk down and interact with the crowd in that regards. We've seen sort of the left and right stage sort of platforms where people go up into and whatnot. I think they worked it really well by changing spots all the time and going up there.
Yeah, they worked it. I mean, it wasn't. Yeah, like they worked it very well. Like
given the fact that there's 72 different people in the band, you can easily have somebody up there at all times.
Yeah,
and you rotate those people in and out. Yeah, for sure. Not there weren't 72. There was a fuck ton of people.
No, there was a lot, but
which is really great to see that they're actually hiring singers to come and sing instead of doing backing tracks and shit.
Yeah.
So that was fucking phenomenal. What else? Those steps that people would walk up and down to get to the drum kit, apparently were also pyro underneath.
Yeah. So the guy sitting so we were in the seats. So, well, they were all seats, I guess. But the guy sitting next to us when we sat down, I don't know, we made like a comment about the lasers or something. And I was like, well, maybe this isn't going to be the best place because like we're on the side of the stage and maybe you want to be near the back for to be able to see the laser show.
He said something along the lines of like, I hope you aren't hot or something.
No,
right?
he said you'll feel the heat here. And I was like, oh, because of the pyro. And he's like, yeah, that's all it is pyro. And in my mind, I'm like, we've been to Rammstein. That's pyro.
All right, yes. Rammstein is Rammstein. That's its own fucking beast. Yeah. But in terms of pyro, this is probably the second most. It was pretty good, yeah. This is I don't know any other band who's had as much pyro as this.
Disturbed's last tour had a lot of pyro. The whole back was pyro.
True. That was
But I mean,
typically they don't have that.
Yeah, so we don't see very much pyro here in Chicago unless you are at like United Center or Soldier Field.
Big venues or outside.
Yeah. So otherwise you don't really see it. So we haven't seen that many shows with it. But yeah, I didn't say that to him. Obviously, I wasn't like, I've seen Rammstein, so I'm pretty sure this is going to be pretty lackluster. But no, I liked how it worked. And before they even started with the white steps that went up, I saw like the railing come down or like so there was a normal white railing, but then there was like
on either side of the steps.
And then there was like a silver thing that went over it. And I was like, oh, that's gonna be
pyro.
pyro.
I didn't see that.
Yeah,
All right.
I did.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
So I was like, that's gonna be pyro.
Okay.
So
yeah, because the steps would turn on fire, the railing would turn on fire, and they'd have like pyro burst from the back as well, and like all different angles and whatnot.
Yeah.
The pyro was fucking phenomenal.
It was cool. It's not something that you would think to see during a Christmas performance, so that was really
definitely rock and metal for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So,
yeah.
Again, melding the rock and metal into the Christmas aspect of things, great. I fucking loved it. Lasers, we touched on that a bit. Early on, there were lasers super early. And I tried to nudge you and point you over to our left because that was the end of the like near front of the house, the other side, the opposite side of the stage, and we had this conversation a while ago with Tool, I think, at Open Air. But I'm pretty sure they judge those lasers at every show to hit those in-between sections of every section. Yeah. So you're not actually hitting somebody in the face with that. And sure enough, I looked back there and there was a laser at every single section of those and even up at the ceiling. And it was kind of cool just to look back and see the lasers up there like hit those sort of things. I really enjoyed watching that.
Yeah. I knew what you were probably, and I was like, yeah, whatever.
You don't care.
Like, no.
Other stage aspects or production aspects, the LEDs and back screen sort of thing were phenomenal. Like, we bitched on the story, but the visuals that accompanied that, I thought were actually really fucking good.
Yeah.
Like, watching the girl walk through the snow with the man on the way to this toy store, I was like, this is really cool. There's some physical building sort of thing, structure there as well, with some holes in it that they would put reefs on at some points through the night.
Yeah, sometimes they would be windows. Sometimes they'd be like during the blues bar or whatever, jazz bar, whatever it is, like that. You could see like people like dancing in the windows.
Yeah, and those windows, you'd be like on the outside looking in, seeing people dance. I thought the visuals were fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, it was really
good.
It went really well with the show.
The whole story aspect, take it for what it is. We've already said what we thought, but the visuals accompanying the story were really, really good.
Yeah.
And when he came out in between during that intermission thing, he did say, "What do you guys think about this year's performance or this year's production?"
So you think it was different?
That's why I was like, I think it's different every year.
Yeah,
and
maybe they change parts of it every year, but I think they've only done a few stories.
Maybe
if that makes sense.
That's what it is, because I do remember walking out and hearing somebody talk to somebody else on the way out, where she's like, "Yeah, you know that part where they like put them on the crane things and took them out over the stage? Yeah. Last year they just had them on a platform and they lowered the platform straight down." And I was like, okay, so it's different every year. And that reminded me again of Rammstein during Rom 4 when they did Open Air.
Yeah.
Because that's how they came down during
Rom
4.
Rammstein was a little bit better.
I wouldn't say that. We enjoyed that better for sure because it's our music.
Yeah.
And
also they put on multi-million-dollar productions where this was probably...
I don't know.
I mean, this was probably pretty good. But
the thing is, they cut, like, this is cookie cutter.
Yeah.
Staying on theme. This is fucking cookie cutter as shit.
Oh, that's a bullshit thing also. They did not have Christmas cookies. It was all stadium food. All day I was like... You
did say that,
I was like, I hope they have like Christmas cookies. In my mind, I was like, I hope they have Christmas cookies and hot chocolate and all this stuff to have like the Christmas theme. Nope, it was just stadium food. Beers and popcorn and hot dogs and shit like that.
Yep, just normal stadium food. I remember you saying that. I'm like, do you think they're going to have Christmas food? And I was like, no, it's a fucking stadium. They're not going to bring in bullshit like that. What the fuck are you talking about? Not even Christmas themed cocktails or anything like that.
They should have.
We didn't actually buy any beer there.
No, we didn't.
We decided not to. We went out to a couple bars ahead of time and spent a fuck ton less.
Yeah, I was like,
by doing that.
You bought like the $7 beers instead of the $20-some beers.
If there was an intermission, I was going to get a beer while I went to the bathroom.
Oh, really?
And then come down. Thank you for no intermission.
Yeah, we saved $20
for one goddamn beer. What else? Oh, the banner area, they would repurpose that for some like
candles or snowflakes or stuff like that.
The LED lights, they had come down. There was one time where they brought candles where they were just different colored, which looked really fucking good.
That reminded me of Disturbed as well, from productions, like where they would do like the lights would come down and like move and stuff and like go with the production.
You remember me Harry Potter in the Great Hall where the candles float above at different angles? That's what I thought about.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying for sure. fake snow. Not much fake
No,
snow, but some.
I was hoping for it to be like the Frozen production at Disney World, where like
You get doused in
you
snow.
actually get snowed on, but it worked. It was cute.
What else?
There's a snow globe in the back with a performer who's singing.
I was just gonna say, straight back from center stage in the front of house, which they did call out, like, thank you for our crew and thank you for front of house. You guys are fucking awesome. Give them all a round of applause.
Yeah.
I'm really loving bands that actually call out the crew.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, like, everybody says, like, give it up for yourself. Everybody does, not everybody, but a lot of bands will say give it up for the crew.
Yeah.
And those motherfuckers work their fucking ass off constantly.
And they said that they had 10 productions in 6 days, which I think is that 2. For some cities had 2 per day.
Basically, everyone I've seen is basically like, we're going to be on the East Coast center or East Coast Midwest, right? So yeah, that makes sense, I guess. 10 productions. But again, that's not you as an artist. That's you as one group playing half of those shows.
No, I think what he was alluding to is this production crew had 10 shows in 6 days because some of the cities had 2 shows per day.
Oh, yeah, okay. Every show I've seen had like the double shows, the matinee and the night. Like,
Chicago didn't today.
They did. I think they did. Did they not?
No, I thought it was just one performance.
Let us find out. It is just one performance.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe the weekend shows for sure you get 2.
Yeah. I don't know how it all worked out, like when you get 2 and when you don't, but.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Interesting. Anywho.
And the only reason why we chose the matinee one was because of the train schedule. So
I really wanted to go to the late night one. I think that would be fun. It was kind of cool. They closed out at the end of the night. Like, thank you for coming out. We have another one of these in 1 hour, so get the fuck out, basically.
Basically, like, thank you for coming. We have to do this again, so bye.
Yes, that's what it was.
Maybe this was their last double feature before Christmas, so they're like, let's just get these done so that we can enjoy a couple days off.
I don't know. They're probably playing all the way to New Year's for sure.
Well, they are, but I think they do take off Christmas Eve and Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the Snow Globe, you brought that up. That was during the story. That was like the Queen Winter or something song.
Wizards of Winter.
Maybe that's what it was.
I did like that song. I like the lyrics to it. Like, that snow is winter's currency.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Again, I didn't pick up on that.
I want to like listen to the lyrics or like read the lyrics of that, but it was. But that was before the story started, really. I mean,
it was super early on.
Yeah, and it's before the story started, so I was still like.
I think we got the Russian-coded girl walking through her mansion without parents, and then it was that song, and then it was the bar.
Yeah.
And it's like, how the fuck do we get from a mansion to a bar with a snow globe somewhere in between?
And why is there a little girl walking into a bar by herself?
Also, how did she get from New York to Russia? Because again, I thought this was Anastasia at this time. I was like, is that why the fuck they can't find her? She somehow in 2 weeks, she moved from Russia to...
Asia with only a red coat on her back.
Right. Like, that's red. That stands the fuck out. How do you not notice that?
Anyways, we don't need to rehash it again.
The story is fucking weird. But no, though, the snow globe was kind of cool because, it was this massive fucking ball of snow globe. That's what a snow globe is. But like on a scissor lift that went like straight up. Yeah. I'm assuming it was a scissor lift on there.
Yeah.
Because that's where my mind went to. I was like, how the fuck are they raising this?
Of course it is. You always want to know how things are done.
Because then they raised it. She sung for a little bit and then she lowered. And it's like, it's got to be a scissor lift, right? Like, she's not moving because otherwise it'd be jostling back and forth. Those things are unstable as fuck.
When that happened, so we've been to shows like, again, I'm going to bring up Disturbed, sorry. But like when we saw Disturbed in Waterloo, Iowa, there was a point where David went to the back and sang.
Yeah.
And then came back out. And then even...
Avatar's done. Johannes has done it a few times.
Johannes has done it. Disturbed did it with Sound of Silence. They played that in the back and then came to the front again. It works when you have a floor that can just turn around.
Yeah.
It was, to me, it looked very uncomfortable for people who are on the floor in those chairs because there's not much room to turn around.
There's not, no.
And I even saw one person who stood up.
Oh, for real?
And turned around. And I'm just like, I get it because like they wanted to see the performance.
Yeah.
But also to me, I'm like, you're now blocking everybody's view.
But then they can stand up.
They could, yes.
But then you can't move because you're in the seats.
You can't move because you're in the seats. And that's why I'm like, okay, the whole playing in the back of the house or the front of the house, whatever you want to say, makes sense when you have the ability to jostle. When you're sitting in those rows of chairs where you have like no room, it doesn't really work too well.
Those are pretty cramped in there for sure.
Yeah. I hate that.
Oh, I hate them too.
I
fucking hate them too.
Like they're like just a regular chair size. They're like clamped together, and you don't have like any arm room or anything.
I have learned with a friend going to Dead and Company. Don't stay in that section. Stand in the walkway.
But I don't think that you could during this performance.
Maybe not.
Nobody
during this.
was.
Maybe.
So I'm not saying like they wouldn't let you, but it
just takes one person to start.
I know.
I always think of Boondocks Rise. Like you just got to throw one chair into the crowd. That's how you start a riot. It just takes one person to stand up, and they all will rise up. Everyone will rise up at that point.
Rise up. Sorry, it's not 4th of July.
No, it's not. That's Hamilton. Anywho, back to
and the 4th of
Christmas.
July thing with Hamilton is we watch Hamilton on 4th of July.
Did we do a podcast on that yet? I've always wanted to.
I don't know.
I don't think we have.
I don't think we have.
We might do one next
We
year.
may have done like an overarching one of like types of music and
I think we
mentioned
have,
it, but
yeah.
not like actually the performance.
We're about to wrap up because
Yeah, we have to.
we're
I mean,
all over the place.
I honestly thought we were going to talk for 30 minutes, and now we've talked for probably an hour and a half.
The only other thing outside of the snow globe, toward the end of the night, they did bring up their logo out there as well in the same spot. It is really cool. I do want to say this. It's cool from a seating perspective. We've never been in like a seat to see that happen. We've always been on the floor and been able to turn around.
Yeah, that's true.
So from a seat perspective, it was easy just to turn your head this way and look over here, and then turn your head this way and look over here.
Yeah, I'm saying from the seats it was fine.
No, I'm saying, yeah. I get what you were saying for sure on the floor. But in the night, they brought their TSO logo up, and it was on fire, and then shooting flames out as well. And then it turned itself
Which
off.
would be really cool if you were like straight back from the stage.
It would
and
have
you
been,
saw
yeah.
all that. Yeah.
I did like our spot. I did think our seats were good for seeing the stage, seeing people. They worked the
Seeing
stage
the
really well.
performers was really nice.
Yeah, they worked the stage really well. As we said, there were moments where the performers would come down and walk up and down the aisles and like slap hands with people and just play in front of the people. That was really cool. Yeah, I don't know.
The bassist is really good playing his 3 notes. No, he probably plays more than that, but I was watching him a lot because he normally stood like right beside us, like up on those risers that we were talking about. And I was just watching him like, he's enjoying what he's playing or whatever, but I'm like, I feel like he probably has a lot more talent that he could play more than.
Oh, for sure.
3
They
notes.
all are super fucking talented.
Yes.
All of them.
And there was one point where the main guitarist, sorry, I don't know their names, but he was like, he mouthed, like he was playing and he mouthed, he was like super fast. And I was just like, it is fast.
Yeah.
But it's not Arcspire fast.
No, it's definitely not that.
No, nothing's Arcspire fast. Well, I'm sure there is something, but.
I guess the last thing for me, end of the night, more pyro-esque, I guess you can call it pyro. The fireworks. There were indoor fireworks.
Indoor fireworks, yeah.
I do remember that because you were walking out and you're like, I can smell the sulfur.
Yeah. I think I was like going towards Slipknot with sulfur.
Oh, is that what you were going for? Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you were going like, I can smell the sulfur of the fireworks.
No,
so
I could,
smell
but I
the
was like,
fuck out of that.
because there's like I think it's a line of the lyrics is like, smell the sulfur. So that's what I said.
I don't know that. I know the song. I don't know that fucking lyric.
Sorry, I guess I should have been like, hey, Brian, I'm going to make a Slipknot reference here.
There you go. That's what you should have done. All right. So we've been talking a bit. We've been rambling a bit, having a lot of fun with this. Final thoughts. Or what do you have?
Oh, no, I was going to ask you, would you do it again?
Yeah, I think I would. Not next year. By no means next year.
No.
2, 3, 4 years. 3 or 4. 3 or 4 years, I'd check it out again.
Maybe a couple more for me.
If the title is The Lost Christmas, no. I'll skip over that.
That's true. If they do like the Beethoven one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Again, I want to find the performance. Again, I was going through the album. The album I was listening to, the narrator wasn't there. I remember their narrator being there in one album, so I need to find what album that is and listen to it.
Yeah.
And I want to see that story.
Maybe there's like different ones where it's like live performance or live album or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'd check that out for sure. $100 for what we got. We could have easily got cheaper tickets and further away. I'd be happy.
I think I would next time. I would maybe sit like even in the second tier, like in the back, so you could see the laser show a little bit better.
I'd take like the nosebleeds. I'd go all the way as far back as I could.
Oh, that was the second tier.
I had 3 tiers, I think.
No, I think it was only 2.
I
think the arena only has 2.
Agreed to disagree.
There's box seats in the middle that didn't have anybody sitting in them.
Yeah, and then there's a tier above that.
Yeah, but I think that's the second level because it's the box seats. So it's like the 100 level, box seats, and then the second level.
Oh, is that it?
I think so. I think there's only 2 tiers.
Play.
I think there's
they're
only
a
two
decent.
tiers.
They're better than the Bulls basketball team.
Well, I think there's only 2 tiers. But anyways,
We'll see.
no, I would go back, but I definitely wouldn't spend almost $300 on it or $250 or whatever we spent.
Yeah, for sure.
And I wouldn't do it it wouldn't be a yearly thing for me.
Were you happy when you left? No, that's a bad way to say it.
Yeah.
Not necessarily were you happy, but did you enjoy it when you left? When you left and I asked you, was that fun? What would you have said?
That it was okay. I had very mixed thoughts on it. And I mean, I shared all my thoughts during this, but like right when we were done, I was just like, it was good.
Yeah, I'm the same way, honestly. And it's weird. I really, really enjoyed the music.
Most of it.
No, I enjoyed the music.
Oh, okay. I didn't enjoy a few songs.
But again, like as I said, as an atheist going into Christmas music, I know it's going to be very Jesus focused, and I'm fine with that. I'm just here to have fun. I want to hear a rock version of these songs, and we have a Merry Metal Christmas playlist that we have together on our Spotify, Metal Vice, whatever the fuck. And all those songs are very, very, not all, the vast majority of them are very, very
Christian based.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. They take the lyrics, but they play the riffs faster and harder. Bro Job? Is that who it is? I fucking love those guys. It's just like...
It's like death metal.
Death metal, but like...
Christmas songs.
Yeah. I fucking love it. It's so goddamn
Plus to the
good.
Hellfire Christmas themed.
They do, but they just... I don't know. It's fucking awesome. I love it.
Yeah, no, I like them too.
And they're not changing the lyrics to make it more Satan-oriented. It's more like, fuck it. Let's just stick with the Jesus was born on this day type of song. Mm-hmm. So I do love that, and I was excited to see that, and I really enjoyed the music. I did. I really enjoyed the production aspect of it. And I was like, these two things are fucking phenomenal. That's what live music is. You get the music and you get the production. But at the end, I was walking out and I was like, I did not like that. I did not have fun. It has the two things I like.
I don't think I had fun during any of it.
I mean, I had fun.
But not like at a normal, I guess.
Yeah.
In my mind, not as like a normal concert. It was more of like seeing a play musical type thing and leaving and being like, okay, that was good.
My life wasn't changed. I'm not thinking about anything. I'm just, it's seeing a Marvel movie in the theaters. Like it's popcorn entertainment. You go in, you shut your brain off, and you walk out and like, all right, cool. My life did not change at all by this. I did not learn anything by this. But you know what? I checked out. I didn't have to live through reality for 2 hours. I'm cool with that. That's what I signed up for.
Yeah.
But that's where I was like, how is it that I'm walking out feeling that way when I love the music? I really did. And I love the production. The production was fucking phenomenal.
Right.
But yet, how do I feel this way? And I think you touched on it during this. I was trying to figure it out.
The story?
Leading up to this. It's the story.
Yeah.
The story's where I lost it, and I lost it fucking hard.
Yeah, I think in my mind, if it was just the music playing without the story, like even if they played the same exact songs, but they didn't have the story aspect to it, I think I would have left it with a different feeling than what I did. Agreed.
If you did not have the story and they just played 1 hour of just the greatest hits, I'd be like, you know what? I'm going fucking next year. Yeah. This was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. Like you get Christmas music that's rock metal themed.
Yeah, it itches that itch for me. It's Christmas themed. Let's fucking go next year.
Yeah. So I was getting into this when we went back to the story earlier, but like when he introduced all the vocalists and stuff, and he said like, who's our first timers, who's our repeat offenders, then he even asked the crowd like, who's coming back next year? And I looked at you, I'm like, probably not.
Yeah, I was done. I was like, nope, not happening.
But again, like if it was just the music, I probably would think about it next year.
For sure. I want to check out another story. I do.
Yeah. We need to watch like when they announce it. I mean, I am saying we're not going next year probably because I think we have something else planned for next year. But
there is something that I want to try. I just learned about it just a couple weeks ago. It sounds fucking awesome. I want to check that out. So maybe we can make it work next year and do that instead. If not, there's always the Nutcracker, which is, again, I like the Nutcracker better.
Yeah. I'm getting tired of the Chicago Nutcracker one, though, because it's like the World's Fair themed, and we've seen it. The first year that we saw it was like so exciting. Second year, I was still excited because I was like, I like this storyline. But then when we saw it again, I was like, okay, they can change it back.
So next year, that might be our Christmas podcast. We'll see what happens. But
yeah.
Look forward to that.
Yes.
But no, would you rather go to Nutcracker or this again?
That's hard. Because right now, neither one of them sound appealing.
Nutcracker for me.
Yeah.
Nutcracker for sure. It's been a couple of years since we've been there, so I think that's why I want to go. Anywho, do you have anything else?
Nope, this was live music.
It was live music.
Yep.
It was Christmas music during Christmas time, and it was live music. Whatever. Don't listen to us. Go find your music. Go check out music.
Definitely check this out.
Yeah, it's worth it. It definitely is worth it for once, at least one time.
Yes.
Or at least listen to it on Spotify. Whatever. In any case, though, music is awesome. Live music's awesome. I hope you check out live music. I think you hope they check out live music too.
Of course.
In any case, just go experience life and music, which is part of life. I don't know why I'm rambling so much. Again, ADHD probably. Anywho, Merry Christmas, and we hope we catch you at the next show next year.
Bye.